Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 21 Preseason Minis. This was supposed to be a flash stream, but annoyingly, my internet just. It has this issue where it just cuts out for like 30 seconds, and then just comes back up. It's fine for a little while, goes down for like 30 seconds. It's very annoying, to be honest with you. And intermittent. I think I need a new Ethernet cable. Anyway. Today, we're taking a look at Press Hard and not BKB, the DarkAce team. In fact, this lineup is actually really one of the only ones where you've got two actually named teams, like properly named, between Press Hard and not BKB, the DarkAce team, taking on Brionne's team, open to suggestions, or as their banner implies, open to Sug Est Ions.
Radiant team ban.
As is traditional so far today, it is predominantly comfort bans. No Pudge. No Spirit Breaker are targeted at the Radiant support line. No Elder Titan targeted at Brionne, no Clockwork targeted at, I guess Luth. Well, it's very weird to see, you know, I had a pretty clear picture in my head of what Open to Suggestions' team lineup was going to be, and I gotta tell you, it ended up being very surprising in the end.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
No Oracle.
Radiant team ban.
And no Furion either.
Ten seconds remaining.
Notably, outside of Furion's potential ability to core, have not actually knocked out any cores on either side yet. It has just been all support, which I've noticed is kind of like, it seems like a pretty consistent trend in this mini so far. It's like, everybody's going after the support lines. Unless there's a core player with like a very small pool, it has consistently been support bans, which is interesting to see. I think leaning on support bans does make sense, especially early on in a mini when you don't really know, or a season when you don't really know what the team comps are gonna like look like, when you don't know what people are gonna be trying to run here. Dawn and Snap. Well, I didn't like the Snapfire in the other match, and I like it a lot less here. Which is really saying something. I mean, it already didn't look great, but into Dawnbreaker, yikes. That doesn't feel good.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant.
So this time it is the other team with the Snapfire, so it is likely it's going to be a support, but still stands. Do not like the Snapfire into Dawnbreaker, especially they picked it into the Dawnbreaker as well. They were already just hovering over that thing, mashing the button, and then they ended up with somebody who really inerts everything that hero brings to the table. Inerts the artillery with the healing from the ult, inerts, well, pretty much everything else she does by just being able to close a lot of distance, quickly stun, well, not super quickly, but stun you quick enough. He kind of reach into the back line, mess with you. And buy items to mess with you. Very nasty stuff.
10 seconds remaining.
And it's like, nothing that Dawnbreaker's gonna have to do is gonna like mess with their game plan all that much in the grand scheme of things. Like, she's pretty much still just gonna be doing Dawnbreaker stuff. The Snapfire will just have a bad day by default. No Kez, okay. Wonder who's playing a lot of Kez on the Brionne lineup.
Radiant team pick.
Mareska has arrived.
Picking up the Willow. Interesting ban on the Ursa. I don't think Renee plays the Ursa that much, so that might have been a strategic ban rather than a comfort ban.
10 seconds remaining.
I feel like the first 2 picks on the Brionne team have just been both
5
attempted
seconds
theft.
remaining.
They took up the Snapfire, they took up the Dark Willow, and like, if you can play those heroes, that's great and everything. I mean, it's not a bad combination of supports necessarily, but I don't know. I never feel that comfortable looking at a lineup consisting of just a bunch of stolen picks, especially when the other team is not really picking much that's that conducive to what you're doing. I mean, I guess the Windrunner into the Dark Willow isn't a great matchup, there's that, but I doubt they're thinking that much about that. That's probably just a
10
strictly
seconds
proactive
remaining.
pick, if anything.
5 seconds remaining.
Turn the cane down just a hair there. Why am I watching this at full speed? Question for the ages. I guess thinking about it full speed would be like, you know, like 16x, but why am I watching it at normal speed? Was the better way to ask that question. DarkAce running out nearly the entire clock here.
Dire team
Earth Shaker.
To pick up the Earth Shaker. Okay. It's a little awkward on the... Okay, DK coming out. It's a little awkward on the DarkAce lineup so far. He's going to feel real silly if that's his support
10
Windrunner, by the way.
seconds remaining. Radiant team
Juggernaut.
Into the Juggernaut, which is pretty much always going to be at least okay. So who's that? Kind of an awkward lineup on
10
the
seconds
DarkAce
remaining.
team so far. The team comp
5
doesn't really
seconds remaining.
mesh. You've got Dawnbreaker, who's a big team fight specialist.
Radiant
Earthshaker,
team
who's a
back.
like, but like Dawnbreaker is a big team fight specialist in very long team fights. Earthshaker is a big team fight specialist in very
10
short team
seconds
fights, and
remaining.
Windrunner is a pickoff
5
artist.
seconds
So
remaining.
the
Dire
three of them
team
together
back.
don't really add up to anything cohesive. They're just kind of heroes. They're not like a team. Do they necessarily
10
like counter what the other
seconds
guys are
remaining.
offering? Not really. The Drow, is, if anything, is their only really reaction-based pick so far.
10 seconds remaining.
I question a little bit
5 seconds
exactly
remaining.
how good the Drow is against the Juggernaut in the Age of the Save as well. It's certainly not like they're not going to have options as to
Radiant
helping
team
out the
back.
Jug between the rest of their team.
Ten seconds remaining.
No Sand King.
5 seconds
Brionne
remaining.
predicting a 3, or no,
Radiant
DarkAce, sorry,
team.
predicting a 3. I think I agree with that. Brionne predicting mid, which I mean is most likely. I would kind of hate to
10
see this be
seconds
like Windrunner
remaining.
mid this game. This is a really
seconds
ranked looking
remaining.
Windrunner game.
Dire
Would be an
team
awful
back.
Dom mid game. Nope, they're gonna go with Void Spirit. That's not a bad call, I don't think. Especially that Axis game should be very handy.
10 seconds remaining.
I guess Brionne kind of has
5 seconds
the advantage
remaining.
here in a way because she can really just pick the DK mid, or she can run with something else here. So she can take the DK, flex it out. I don't know what I would do in this situation. I think the DK mid here would probably be fine. I don't know if it's a great matchup against the Void Spirit, but I don't know if it's necessarily a bad one. He'll be able to play his role in the match anyway. Well, I guess you really are. You're really going to be suffering against the Drow Ranger in the long run, so maybe somebody with some more meaty potential here would be good. Just have the DK worry about early games. Or no, we're going to go the other way and
Your heroes.
go for a Tide Hunter here instead. Which, I don't know. I'm not a great big fan of. No, I actually kind of hate this Tide, honestly. The Dawnbreaker, again, just like with Snapfire, is a Really good counter to it. You know, is basically never going to be in the Ravage. Is basically never going to be caught by that. Is always going to have the ability to respond. Kind of the same deal with the interaction between Dawn and the Jug, actually. But, you know, neither here nor there. Power juice. Or juice power, I guess. Juice power is what every athlete in the 80s was on.
Prepare for battle.
But if the Dawnbreaker ults come out fine, it's going to inert both the I didn't even consider it really at the time. It's going to inert a lot of the Ravage, and worse yet, it could really inert a lot of the Omni Slash. Like, you could definitely get into a situation, especially if you start really balling and you get really far ahead, that the Omni Slash is just going to kill people in like 2 or 3 hits, and no amount of big AoE healing is going to prevent that. But if he's not super balling, you could definitely end up in a situation where, you know, the Ravage comes out, the Snap Artillery comes out, the Jug Omni Slash comes out, you know, they fire all guns blazing, and, you know, for one, they're not going to get everybody by default. Like, in fact, it's kind of hard to say who they might get. The most likely candidate is going to be Earthshaker here. If Drow's playing ideally, she's basically never going to be caught by that. If Void Spirit is playing ideally, same goes for him, basically. And he's not really going to care that much if he is, unless the Tidehunter is, like, on him. If Adam has a fast reaction time, and I think he does, it's, like, not unviable to dodge a Ravage with his Simulate, so... Kind of a sad day for Power, actually. Nobody came with him down here, and he just died. He just got ran on by 5. 5 heroes bottom. So actually get both Power and the Rune there.
Oh, wait, no, I couldn't.
And Winter declares it couldn't be any worse than that. It's very sad. If he had gotten the Rune, he would have at least been 3 for 2, or 3 for 1 for runes with his untimely death, which would have counteracted things a little. I think I would have went for it there as Drow, because it was a 1v5 against a really good level 1 team. I really would not be... Okay, that's interesting. Space Cowboy down here. Really would not be thinking I was getting out of that in any case. But either way, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the cast, the roll call. So, for the press hard and up BKB, pause 1, you've got Power on the Drower. Pause 2, you've got Ad Forum on the Void Spirit facing the team you was supposed to be on. Pause 3, you've got Wild Daddy on the Earthshaker. Pause 4, you've got DarkAce, who is washed, and the Captain on the Windrunner. Not my words, his, on the wash thing. Pause 5, you've got Space Cowboy on the Dawnbreaker. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, on Open to Sug Est Ions, pause 1, you've got Renee Althor on the Juggernaut, who's sponsored by Kyrix. Pause 2, you've got a Random Clown, sponsored by Washed as well. Oh my god, there's going to be the Battle of the Washed on the Dragon Knight. Pause 3, you've got TK on the Tide. Pause 4, you've got Luth on the Snap. And pause 5, you've got Brionne, captain of the team, on the Dark Willow, who's having a little bit of a go here with both these guys. DarkAce is very low. Had to take a kind of a scary corner there. Oh, no, it's still pretty scary, actually. Oof. Going for the juke here. Got caught in the other... Oh no, the Dark Willow landmine. What a way to go. That's pretty bad for the Radiant offlane here. Yeah, not only losing the Windrunner, the Earthshaker is still very low health as well. At the very least, Windrunner has a whole bunch of regen and is coming back into the lane with it. I would definitely think about using it on Wild Daddy sooner than later. You definitely don't want the world where he steps on a Dark Willow landmine and just gets run over. Oh no. Oh no, Dawn's Courier. Okay, she's microing it out of there. Gonna have a massive fight in the Lotus pit here. Unfortunately for Luth, he's not going to get the Lotus, even though he could have really used it.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
And they're going to get TK's... Or not TK. TK is going to get Space Cowboy's courier anyway. Now that's sad. And then he's just gonna eat the Lotus right in front of his 2 HP friend just to make it a little worse. You hate to see it. Space Cowboy does a too little, too late type pull on this wave. Doesn't really work out. Too close to the tie without any pressure on him. I guess this matchup is better for the DK than I thought. I mean, I didn't really think it was like so bad. I thought it was like tilted a little bit away from him for a while, but I think it's like not decisively by any measure. But they seem to have it pretty well tied up here. I mean, Shone has been for how the rest of the game has gone. Shone has not been slacking on the last hit, and he's keeping up with Adam, which is pretty big deal. I think pretty good for him. And it's not like goodbye DarkAce once again. It's not like a masterclass to get last hits on DK, but you know it's harder than it used to be. You can't just swim and creep with your passive anymore. So I think it's something to pat yourself on the back a little bit about. Don't get complacent, but it's not too bad. Let's check that out at bot. Space Cowboy with about 50 HP after some unrelated battle just gets chased down by an old woman on a lizard and shot to death. Very sad. I wonder who's playing the Snapfire. I know this is still dead in the water in pub. It's like still just a trash can in pub games. So I'm assuming there is some pro game I didn't see where somebody's been picking this or something, but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Snapfire was the victim of a stupid innate / facet gimmick. Hasn't really felt that good since it came out outside of like maybe one patch where she just had a bit of numbers busted going on. I don't think she's like unpickably bad. She's pretty close to that, but like I really am not sure why we're seeing it multiple times and like getting contested here. They're thinking about going for the Earthshaker this time. Decided not to do it, which is a little interesting. Why does my guy have 2 points in healing ward and no healing ward out on the field? Renee. Okay, there we go. Renee?
No.
Oh my god. You back off. You hit the... Especially... I mean, I think in that case when there's no pressure on you and you know the wave's about to come in on you, you just start trying to deny creeps to push the momentum under your tower, and then you hit the healing ward while you're under there, and they can't do that much about it. You know, as long as the creeps are there by your invitation, after all. Now, if you just get pushed into it there by a giant wave, that's a different story, but... Doesn't really matter. They're going to go for Earthshaker again. And they're going to get caught in a big Q and almost lose a Dark Willow W. Not that it does that much at level 1. Check with the raindrops, which I think is smart here. Lets him be more judicious about the use of his Q.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And when you have the raindrops, you can choose to tank or not to tank something. You can choose, well, I guess maybe the better way to put it is, you can choose to hold your Q for tanking, or you can choose to use it offensively. Whereas if you don't have raindrops, well, you are going to be still bound, to at least some degree, to using your Q to defensively. The trade there is HP instead. Not very ideal. So
Vanished, but not
you will have to do the occasional Q to just dodge through something, which you don't necessarily need to do with a range up, especially when you got 2 points in healing ward in the lane. He's got crit now, so who's that? I was actually starting to, oh, I was about to say, starting to run away with the Lassus a little bit, not starting to run away with the Livin. Had him tipped DarkAce. True, that was such an embarrassing misplay on DarkAce's part. Oh, that assassination, I can't believe he did that instead of, I don't know, making DK walk up to Adam and have a heart attack. I mean, I know it was an unironic tip, but it's still funny if somebody does something obviously good and you accuse somebody of BM tipping. He's got money on the other team, that's what the deal is. We're not getting hit by barrage of arrows here. I hope that my push to talk worked properly there. You didn't get to hear that absolutely disgusting sound I just made. I don't think you did, which is good.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Pretty slow lanes for the most part. 5 kills in 9 minutes, and this many is really not all that much. Never mind, I guess. Speak of the devil, and the devil of multiple
Radiant's
kills will
middle
appear.
tower is under attack.
Shackle.
Yep,
Radiant's middle tower.
everybody noticed that funny little snap fire, or funny little Dark Willow was not in the lane. Everyone just ran at the Juggernaut. Everyone got him. Interesting timing for Snapfire to be running in on that. I guess they suspected something was coming a little before it happened, but... I don't know if that's true or not, but... Wild Daddy is certainly going to make that claim. DarkAce... I was getting chased over by the supports here. Not able to actually do very much damage to him. Actually, one charge was able to put him back in full HP.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Tapped out to make sure that time, and you definitely couldn't hear that version of the gross noise. Dragonite getting some free farm down here, while Adam is, I believe, yeah, just stacking up his ancient camp. DK actually pretty far ahead on the last. It's nearly 10 above second place and over 20 above the top, like the second to top member of his team. Feels like he's the only Dire guy for whom the lane went like exactly how they expected. Dire is leading for kills, but notably you can see up there, they're at a net worth deficit of, you know, over 1,000 at this point. Enough for the game to be confident about it. It's kind of unusual, they're just not really hitting those creeps. They're able to occasionally reach out and get a funny little kill, but, you know, outside of the DK, Drow's actually quickly catching up on. It is, okay, this is gonna get, okay, no, Spear Bomb, excuse me, it's gonna miss entirely, so this is not gonna be nearly as bad as it looks. Omni Slash is going to come out. Windrunner actually, I noticed, ran up to him with the Windrun on to try and get the Jug to jump on him, tank some hits, but unfortunately for Earthshaker, it was not the case, which is kind of a shame, because if the Jug had fallen off the Earthshaker there and he was able to hit that ult, even if Jug was spinning at that point, the other two guys would have turned to Cream of Dota Hero. So
under attack.
Simply get luckier, DarkAce. Luck is a skill, as they say.
Regeneration.
Well, that was kind of an overcommitment to funny little support. Went too far there, just got hammered. Lose? Okay, there's like an inch-long crack here between the fissure and the trees, unfortunately for Wild Daddy, who's about to just get hammered here. The ult's coming out here. Artillery, oh my god, that was so sad. He hit 6 literally the moment Drow died, so he couldn't quite ult in time, and then tried to ult anyway. Like on the last frame of Drow's life, just didn't make it. Snapfire Artillery takes the Drow Ranger out. Pretty good kill for the Dire at this point. DK gets that quick blink. Gets ran at by 3 people on the Radiant, and just immediately, 4 people now, just immediately gets hammered. Runs into Smash Ultimate, everybody is here. Not really sure what happened there. I don't know if that was like a miscue. Kind of looked like it. It looked like DK thought the team would be pushing, but they actually kind of just... I'm not really sure what they were doing, really. It seemed like they just kind of all ran back to the tower and then all started running back forward, and he died. So I think there might have been some kind of mix-up there, mixed signals. Brionne is in this really precarious spot here. It's only just now been caught. Dire splits the Space Cowboy from the rest of the team, though, who's getting a little eager and excited to start running for the Wisdom Rune there.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Kind of runs into 5. Now it's Smash Ultimate the other way. Blink reveal there on the Windrunner is gonna get spat on. I was gonna say her Windrunner is still not like actually very high level, so. Oh, they missed the anchor smash. Not that it would have really mattered that much. Okay, DK diving under tower for this. Gonna get some TPs in. This is not the situation Radiant thinks they're getting into. If they chase this, it's gonna be bad juju for them. And I don't mean the Witch Doctor thing. Or rather the Dazzle thing, sorry. The Dazzle thing that I don't think it's in the game anymore. Yeah, they are all in on this. Oh man, a very vaguely misplaced bolt from the Space Cowboy. It is still going to get the job done on the DK. Echo Slam gets a lot of damage out, doesn't really get anybody by itself.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Awkward fight, 2 for 2 here. It's going to be just a small victory for the Dire. Well, small victory money-wise for the Dire, small victory XP-wise for the Radiant. Pretty much a stalemate. I guess the Dire walked away with the tower there, so there's that. That was just a very awkward fight to parse. It seemed like nobody was really dying. Like, everybody was getting very low, not many people were actually dying. And when they did, it was just kind of somebody weird and random getting the kill. Oh, Fury coming out here. Void Spirit just raw. This is like the rawest inventory I've ever seen. Just goes just from Spirit Vessel right into Ags. He's getting that thing ASAP, which I don't blame him. It's a really strong Ags game. This guy is not going to be able to do anything about this for a long time. You don't want BKB as Jug, and if you're going to get BKB as Jug, you're going to have to wait a hell of a long time for that to be even an option for you, because if you get it too early, you're going to, I don't care how many fights you survive, you're going to pull your momentum so badly by losing on the damage. So he's going to have to get some damage items before he gets something that can actually deal with the Void Spirit's silence, which I guess, well, I guess he's getting the Mantis style next, so there's going to be that, but still. Nasty business, and once he does that, well, he's still missing the dodge for the Shackle Shot, the Drow Silence, all that. Gonna be risky business. Not really that reliable to stop until BKB. Space Cowboy trying to trade a life for a life here does not work out. Yep, the artillery gets the job done, and Space Cowboy trades nothing for a life. I guess nothing for 2 lives, though I guess that kind of implies he was responsible for the death of the Drow Ranger. Luke is godlike on the Snapfire. Everybody just keeps ignoring
Radiant's
this
middle
guy.
tower is under attack.
They're hitting DK here, who definitely walked up too far here. Just
Tower is under attack.
getting this damage on this tower is good, don't get me wrong, but when you don't see anybody on their side of the map, it's time to turn around and go home. Especially like at this point in the game, especially when you're starting to lose the momentum, I think. I would be kind of skeptical about even hitting a tower. They're going for the Snapfire here. This is the easiest streak of your life if you can get it. 20 HP. Barely doesn't die of the, barely just doesn't die of the Void Spirit, Spirit Vessel, which is really unfortunate as he gets himself killed trying to finish the job. The streak goes to DarkAce. At least it's not a bad support to pick up a streak. It's kind of crazy how that happened to begin with. It's not like the Snapfire was like balling or anything. She just kept coincidentally getting the hits because of the narrow scatter blast thing. Dire walking up for round 2 on this tower. Shades of earlier, you know, went from DK just casually walking up to tower alone for no good reason to the whole team is here. DK, by the way, going for an Orchid here, which nobody on the Radiant core side, nobody on the Radiant in general seems to be thinking about BKB right now. Maybe Earthshaker is, but he's hiding his inventory just from me. Or rather, he's hiding his quick buy just from me. Dire making a move on Radiant spot T2. Radiant realize what's happening in a position down here. Now that it much matters. Yep, Dire just leaving as quickly as they came. They see that Void Spirit mid. They start feeling that that hunger deep inside. Omni Slash comes out. Doesn't really. No, it doesn't. It looked like it did, but. It didn't really, I'm sorry I lied to you. They're going to get, it's not a bad ravage, they're going to attempt to chain the stuns on Void Spirit, just barely miss the timing on the Fear Bomb, unfortunately. Gold for me, T. Action slows down a little bit here. Dire takes a step back to just start hitting creeps. I guess I should look at these net worth charts. Drow in first place by somewhat decent margin. She definitely still feels mortal, so that a lot more mortal than the Jug does, that's for sure. So that money could turn around on them fast, but if she's going to stick in good positions here, she's going to keep alive, which for the most part she has been. That's not even though they've been very aggressive in their pursuit of her. She's only died 2 times since the actual game started, mind you. Dire does Tormentor in the middle of that diatribe. So she's got a lot of money right now. Not quite enough that she's going to be like 1v5 in, but pretty good position to be in. Chug is in second place. His upside is that he feels pretty invincible. I feel like he has more to do with that 9.5 than Drow does with the 10.0. Dire fall. The rest of the game pretty much is pretty close outside of the offlaners. Wild Daddy is a little behind everybody else. Tide Hunter is a lot behind everybody else. This guy has not exactly been having the most impact in this game thus far. Went for the first item, Blink Dagger. Went Blink into Shard, actually, first and foremost, which is... I get why, but is really going to hamper your game. Like, going to hamper pretty hard your ability to actually, like, make money, keep up. Especially if you're not getting a whole bunch of anchor kills, which he isn't. And he did not get the Tormentor Shard. That went to the Dark Willow there, so... Okay, we've got Rod of Atos on the Snapfire here. Just got revealed on the Earthshaker. Feel like people walking up to tower solo and immediately dying is kind of the running theme of this game. It's the third time it's happened. And sure, the first two times were the same guy. This time it's not even a guy on the same team, so clearly it's a pretty critical condition. I mean, even if that... even if the Rod of Atos didn't come out there, if it's like a Scatter Blast from in the trees, or Flame Breath from in the trees, or just something in general, like that's hard to react to, like the Dark Willow maze, where the center is right on you. Something just comes out of the fog that's kind of hard to blink out of. The same thing can very easily happen, even without the Rod of Atos. And now I think you can blink dodge the Atos projectile, so... Making it a little worse here. Sean is
Denied.
in something of a 1v2. Probably gonna last long. DK with the Orchid complete. Going for the BKB here. This is like an old school DK build. This is a DK build from like 5 years ago. The Blink into Orchid into BKB. It's a little crazy to say. I think that means next patch he's going to be building Meteor Hammer. That'll be fun. Catch the Snapfire here and just kill him immediately.
They took it personal.
That was no shot.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Like I said,
Dire are
I feel like with Snapfire getting a streak early on was kind of a fluke. As a result, probably not going to get that much for future kills. You know, hasn't really, you know, it died 9-0 and I think 1 or 2, and is now 9-2 and 3, so definitely not as big as that first kill, though notably is above the Tide Hunter, so. Aghanim Scepter comes out on the Void Spirit. So again, Ags on the Void Spirit are going to be a pretty big deal here. The Drug Manta style is out, so they're not going to have the window to jump scare him with it like they probably would want to. Though again, they are wasting his Manta style by
Dire's
doing
top
that.
tower is under attack.
Great.
Whoa!
Everyone else is not going to be in a great spot. The Tide Hunter in particular is, you know, has just finished the Vlads. Is a very, very long way from any hypothetical BKB, even if that's what he's going to do next. The DK is not even halfway there yet, and obviously the support line, which is very caster heavy, is, well, they're not going to be in a good spot, to
Dire's
say the
middle
least.
tower is under attack.
So. Gathering up for an attack here on the T1. This is very interesting. You don't usually see. Oh my God! Jug instantly deleted by a huge Echo Slam. Very nice to see.
Your death may still.
Does not spot
Dire's middle
the
tower
gust,
is
and
under
funnily enough, I'm sure he was planning to Manta style the silence off of him. But the animation from the gust was long enough. The little falling back animation was long enough that he actually died in it and he didn't get to do anything else. This is very sad for him. with this space now cleared, Radiant gonna do Roche. Radiant now to 2k advantage.
Dire are scanning.
Dire scan it out successfully, though. I feel like to not much of an avail. Brionne is going to protest in the pit here.
Radiant's middle tower is
It's not
under
really
attack.
going to be able to do anything more than just ledger complaints. Everybody starts walking at the Aegis when it hits the floor, which is kind of funny. Drow getting it is definitely the right call, as she's mortal enough that it kind of worries me. Snapfire uses that streak money to finish up a Gleipnir, which is kind of crazy. I will say, we've also been getting a pretty good amount of last hits as well. Not more than the like the pause 5s, but definitely both pause 4s on the same game plan this game, which is to get a pretty solid amount of last hits here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Tidehunter maybe a bit out of line here, perhaps. A little far forward, it feels like. Doesn't necessarily matter. Going for the, I guess it's not scouted out the Void Spirit Axe yet, has gone for an Eternal Shroud here. I mean, I think the Kraken Shell debuff thing can get rid of the silence, but that's only if people are actually hitting him, which I don't think people are going to be doing that. So I'm guessing rather than making that decision, Tidehunter has not seen the Void Spirit silence yet, which is going to be pretty unfortunate for him if that gets revealed on top of his head. Jug going again, another 5 years ago build, just the Manta Battle Fury Ags build for the very quick Swift Slash. I don't know if that's necessarily the play here. I don't know how much good the Swift Slash does you.
Radiant are scanning.
I would rather just have better stats here. The S and Y or something. Scanned out the Dragon Knight here in the triangle, and they're walking at him. Does not look good for him here. It's a 4-man smoke, only the Dawnbreaker isn't, and like who cares about that, though. They saw something they think is tastier down here at bot. If only they knew that the guy they were walking into in the triangle was DK.
Radiant are scanning.
They see the Tidehunter just as he gets out. A little bit of ADHD gaming there. I think, unfortunately for these guys, the better play absolutely would have been go for the triangle there, because DK is, especially with the Void Spirit silence, a very viable kill, and that would have got him like
Radiant's top tower is
at a
under
really
attack.
awkward time when he was building up the BKB here. Would have gotten rid of a lot of this gold. So he got rid of a lot of time, just pushed it back farther.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Radiant's top T1 finally falls at 30 minutes to creeps.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Tire's bot T1 finally falls at 30 minutes to Drow. These safe lane, or I guess rather these off lane T1s have been very mighty this game. Drow Ranger got a Shadow Blade, okay. DK, well, they're making up for lost time, just smashing him to pieces here. Which, you know, they get the same effect as if they had gone from the triangle, so I guess maybe it wasn't worth going for him in the triangle there. They get to take him out, get more unreliable gold out of his pocket, set him on the death timer, so, you know, there's that. And they also get a T2 for it, so there's also that. Very free T2. Nobody on the Dire even thinking about doing anything about this.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Biggest jump scare of Dark Willow's life there. That was so close to her successfully TPing out that I actually heard the TP sound. That's so sad.
but never equals.
Very, very last second Dark Willow gets caught there. Though Tide's able to TP again.
Every coin helps.
Radiant's middle tower tower is under attack.
Juggernaut going for the butterfly. Okay, he did change his mind about the eggs. I think that's probably fine. Well, it's a little less fine than usual because you're against the Drow Ranger with a multi-shot, and that absolutely does not care about your dodge chance. Speaking of which, her Aegis is about done.
Are scanning.
That's a big kill if they can get it. Well timed too. They've seen her, they've gotten the silence out on her, they dropped the Dawnbreaker on her, it is not to be. Attempt to escape via invisibility is thwarted by dust. Radiant trickles in now. The former offlane has come to try and get something done here, but the Windrunner is just going to have to retreat. Okay, I was going to say maybe not get that. She is. Well, the Earthshaker just gets pinned down by everybody else and subsequently killed in the jungle. Oh, she turned around and tried to come back and then just got hit by the funny fish. That's a 4-0 trade. That was huge for the Dire, especially considering it started with a very free kill in the top net worth person in the whole game.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures.
They had like a mini glyph there. That was weird. Kind of an awkward time for that Elder Dragon form to be wearing off or whatever. They're still going to get this T3 for pretty much free.
Radiant's top tower is falling.
Going to drop. Okay. Okay, this is huge if they get this kill. No, they're just barely going to miss out on it. Again, kind of a comm line issue there maybe because you know this Rax is absolutely not a viable objective at the moment. I think if everybody had just collapsed on top of the head of the Void Spirit, he dies there. But you know these things happen. Snapfire takes the hit on the retreat.
Shame about that wonderful dragon token.
We're only just now getting this report that says that was a about 4K net worth swing, just over 4K net worth swing there. Given the Snapfires, it's really 3.5K when she gets clipped on the retreat. Ty finishes the Eternal Shroud, going for Blade Mail next. Does not seem to care. Now it's pretty well established that the Void Spirit is Axe. He does not seem to care much about that, which is kind of interesting. I guess the play is you wait for the Void Spirit to engage and only then you Ravage, but...
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You can be waiting a while doing that. Radiant are going to take their brief little power play here to knock out the T2 top. They have lost the range Rex in this range, so the equilibrium will still be at least a little bit against them, unfortunately for them.
Radiant are scanning.
Radiant scan out the Tormentor, find nobody there. Oh, wouldn't be a bad idea for the Dire right now. Especially if they could do it without getting caught. Actually, looks like Radiant's interested in doing the job themselves. So first things first, they're going to go for TK here. Echo Slam on 2 is going to kill 2. Especially in conjunction with the Dawnbreaker ult. Drug sticks his nose in, thinks about doing something about this, but okay, this is going to be really funny if it works. What? What the hell? What a strange decision. If only he had done what I expected him to do, just waited a second in the trees and then just Omni Slash the guys at the Tormentor, because if he had done that, he would have absolutely gotten a free kill on the Winner and been able to spend TP, I think.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh well. That would have been practical and it would have been very risky, but it would have been funny if it worked. Free shard for the Dawnbreaker, which ain't a bad thing to have, especially in a game that looks like this. And again, with a brief power play, they're going to go after T2 bot here, which means Dire is out of outers. Radiant is down a rack, but they actually still have 2. Never mind, they have 1. Mid T2 almost died to creeps and Dawnbreaker jumped back to deny it, so we're really Running out of towers here at a pretty precipitous rate. I think 10 minutes ago, all T2s in the game were still standing, and right now, no, I think there was like the dire mid T2 was already gone, but 10 minutes ago, almost all the T2s are still standing, and now there is one. So these pushes came quick and hard.
Dire's bottom tower
Dire
is
striking
under
out, looking
attack.
for somebody on the retreat with the four-man smoke play here is not gonna work out. Nothing's gonna happen.
Dire are scanning.
TK is going to pretend to be a buffoon and hit creeps when his teammates turn around, which is something that's already happened this game. Radiant are not falling for this bait. Maybe? They're thinking about falling for this bait. They want him bad. Dire going south instead is going to find Wild Daddy. They're not going to get him. They're going to mess the Dark Willow landmines. Unfortunate for her. That was a pretty secure kill, I think, if one of those had landed. Going to catch the Dawnbreaker. Full-time silence is going to make sure she's not able to just magic immune out from that. That was a lot dropped on a pause 5, but what are you gonna do? Jug going for the MKB here, because I guess he really wants to kill Wonder. Oh no, because Strauss getting a butterfly. Okay. For Silver Edge next, this is a pretty big game for passes, especially if you get the Tidehunter or the DK passes are both pretty big, and the Tidehunter does not actually have a way to stop you from doing that, so I'll be going Lotus Orb next, rather than Blame Mail. Looks like we're about to have an absolute LD2L Classic fight here. Silence misses, Ravage is out. Very early into this fight is going to Cream Drow Ranger, okay. Well, you almost couldn't ask for a better kill than that at this point. The Dawnbreaker, by the way, is still not back up, so this should be a free Roche. If Radiant contests at this point with the Omni Slash and Elder Dragon form still up there in nutcases, they're contesting with the Elder Dragon form and the Omni Slash still up there in nutcases. That's a pretty big Echo Slam, though. That certainly makes sure we're not worrying about Elder Dragon form here. They're dropping every stun on the Jug, and it works. They just chain stun him to eternity. TK tries the old funny teleport trick again. So that was really bad. 3-0 on that particular fight, which is crazy because the Radiant were down 2, and one of those 2 was their P1. Just a giant Echo Slam is able to really make that happen, which is really, if nothing else, a lesson in, you know, don't have everybody standing in the Roche pit there. Especially when you're when you have 2 guys. When you have the 2-guy advantage, like you can absolutely just have Jug and DK alone in that pit, hitting that thing and be okay. What are you gonna do?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They found the Dark Willow. They're getting her with that really annoying one on her wind. Drop the entire world on her head.
Dire's structures are fortified.
They didn't actually finish Roche here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
With the glyph and the Jug coming back up, they're deciding not to take their chances and just going to go down and help Drow finish things out. Drow takes the Aegis again good. She's the only member in this core trio that feels like she's dying that consistently at this point. The Void Spirit is really slippery. They've actually only managed to get him 1 time this game. Void Spirit has been feeling really slippery, and they just haven't really been catching the Earthshaker for the last while, so. There's a lot of deaths, but they're not very recent. What did I just see there? Okay, Drow's getting Shark coming out. Earthshaker just got a Refresco Orb. That's pretty big. There's going to be a 5v5 here at this T3. Always seems to be this one, when you have these kind of 5v5 matchups at a T3 for whatever reason. this particular T3, Drow Shard, is just gonna make quick work of this T3 here. They are not even gonna contest that. I feel like that would be. I feel like that would have been worth the Snapfire ult, to be honest with you. Just raw drop it on top of her head and be. I think I would be okay with that. I mean, you would certainly wear it now. Luth? I'm going to go for a more direct approach here, but Glimmer Cape immediately puts the spurs to that. Or puts the brakes to that. That would be the opposite of what I was intending. These guys are scared to even take on fake Drow Rangers at this point. Ooh my god, look at the Dragon Knight die. Oh man, he almost just died in one use of the Drow Shard. Exactly how you do it. I mean, I guess there was a situation last season where one of the people in this game actually had the situation where he had a very Drow Shard-centric game plan and didn't actually really seem to realize what it did, and this is exactly what it does. This is so annoying for the Dire to deal with. It's just the Drow Rangers just being allowed to just slowly chip away at the Dire defenders has gotten the melee racks for completely free here. It's in kind of a scary situation now. The team is getting distracted by the big stupid watermelon. Which, ultimately, they don't even get. Dawnbreaker ult is going to intervene here to stop all this from happening. They are going to get the first life on the Drow Ranger. They're going to trade the Dragon Knight for it. Most of the Jug. Coming with an Omni Slash is going to take care of everybody. Oh my god, that was a crazy Omni Slash. Gets an Ultra kill instantly. Drow gets one revenge kill on the Willow. Alright, Renee Rampage. That's pretty goddamn big. Jug God. Checking in on the Renee hate stream.
Distortion void.
5 for 2 there. One of the Willow deaths is a buyback and dieback, but 3 for 5 or 2 for 5. I guess 3 for 5. A massive net worth swing. They immediately just walk up to Team 3 and start trying to get more done. This would have been the better place to go, but what can you do? They get a couple of buybacks, spin TP. I really am not happy to see the Drow buyback, but what are you going to do? Again, it feels like it's kind of a consistent theme in this mini so far, but it just felt like a little bit of shambolic communication there. It felt like the split to try and kill the Tidehunter there was kind of what caused things to go wrong. Put everybody kind of out of position when they decided, well, wait, we need to actually protect this Drow guy. Being it tied under there, going to get a revenge kill on him. Again, this very annoying Windrunner win stuff is being kind of a pain for the Dire right now. They did actually still get the bot TP for free. Well, not for free at the cost of Tidehunter's life, but they still did get it. Creep got it post-mortem. Oh man, they're not happy after that sequence of events on the Radiant. Just immediately start bringing the hammer down. The kill on the Tidehunter is followed up by a kill on the Dragon Knight. Earthshaker is doing the job of getting the side lanes pushed out, and I'm glad he's decided against that and is now kind of running back to his team, because he really was not the one who should have been doing that. This is an unfortunately placed banner, but what are you going to do?
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's structures.
Dire looks like they're going to be losing a few more buildings here. Catapult is protected
Dire's middle barracks
by the banner at
has
the
fallen.
very least. Yep, nothing to be done here.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Dire going for the T4s there. I assume to try and bait buybacks because it's a very unviable objective right now.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
They do not get it. They simply take top 3-3, walk away. Not Earthshaker, Tidehunter with the absolutely scariest positioning in history there. I really thought we were about to have a nice sliced up watermelon, but everyone decides it's probably not worth sticking your neck out for, which I suppose I would agree to that. By the way, if you didn't see it in the last fight, we do have Refresher Orb now on the Dawnbreaker. Have not used Earthshaker Refresher yet, I believe.
Regeneration.
Radiant gathering around the Tormentor once again. Though they have nearly all their shards already. Yeah, so it's going to be... Well, we know who's going to get it at the very least. Dire scan out the wrong Tormentor. And he has predicted free Ag Shard for the one guy in the team who didn't have one already.
Radiant are scanning.
Slightly unfortunate in a way, because that is, like, not an awesome shard, but... What are you gonna do?
Bounty killing.
I'm not super about the decision on the Radiant's part to push up a dead lane here. It's not like, with where the Dire position, it's not like they're gonna get the top racks by opening the back door here. I don't know how well they know that necessarily. By the way, Shaker's standing on a lot of money here. I assume saving for buyback. Dawnbreaker, yep, more of the same. Going to get their own wisdom, so just secured 2 different wisdoms. You can see the way the XP chart changes, which I assume is going to be even more when Earthshaker just sneaks into the other guy's base and gets a kill on the back line. It was a very wild back and forth game. Roche is in. At the literal moment everybody on Radiant walks away, Roche is in. I don't think I'm not 100% sure they checked, but if they did, sad. Okay, nope, they're gonna be going back now. Gonna see him. Going to use the Drow Shard inside the pit to try and do a Roche quickly, which is kind of funny. Dire is completely caught with their pants down here. If they wanted to do something about it, that is absolutely not in the cards. The various prizes are going to be split among the Radiant. Drow takes the Aegis again. Windrunner is currently the custodian of the cheese. Void Spirit currently holding the Refresher Shard. I doubt either of these are going to be the case for that long. Feel like decently likely. I mean, I guess the 2 people who most make sense to give it to have Refresher Orbs, but you know those things don't share cooldown and all that, so. Void Spirit is going to keep the cheese, and seemingly going to keep the Refresher. It's not like completely unviable. It's not a bad choice. Drow is pretty close to done here. She's gonna have Ags and Subsequent Blessing. And then something in her 6th slot, maybe still the boots, most likely something else.
Energies.
She's about done is the important thing. They're going to drop a lot on this first Drow life. They're going to get the job done. Echo Slam on 2, but really not for that much damage, though it's going to be enough to get the job done on the Juggernaut, who's going to instantly buy back here. When he comes back in, he's going to get stunned, and then he's going to Omni-Slash Illusions. Well, that's not what you want to happen. Jug, it looks like Jug is about to experience the absolute thrill of the rampage and subsequent loss. Okay, Drow absolutely should not have been hitting the Tidehunter there. He would have been, okay, no, he's still dead. Yeah, it looks like Renee is going to get the, the rare exhilaration of the rampage and then subsequent loss. Rather unfortunately. Alright, second Echo Slam is going to come out here to try and kill both the Dire guys and their spawn, and they do!
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's
Rampage, then loss, you hate to see it. Kind of a crazy back and forth game, I guess, because this is really the first time that we've seen in a while a game that is not decided by draft in and of itself. Feels like most of the games have been. Shoutouts to Iceman in the Battle Cup. Either way, yeah, I did feel like the Radiant did have something of an advantage here. The Juggernaut didn't look like he was going to be that well able to capitalize on just everything they had going on here, especially just, you know, we saw even in the last fight that that closed out the game, he had the big Omni Slash, but the targets were so spread out that he just kind of jumped to a couple of Manta Illusions, and that was the whole Omni, right? The Tidehunter didn't feel like it did a goddamn thing here. I mean, maybe I'm going to scroll on this a little bit and be completely wrong. No, he didn't do a goddamn thing here. He didn't do any damage. He actually did the least amount of damage of anybody in the server. He, tanked the most, but not by that much. And, given his death timer, which isn't, like, extreme, but it's kind of hard to, oh my god, 8-minute downtime on the Dragon Knight is rough. The Tidehunter didn't do a goddamn thing here. The DK felt pretty outclassed pretty fast, which isn't that surprising because this is just like this is a kind of nightmarish DK game. I don't think I really realized in draft how bad it was going to be. Like, you know, the Drown to DK matchup is already pretty bad. That's part of why I was advocating, okay, stick it on P3 and pick something more substantial at the mid, but the Void Spirit in the long run ended up being pretty bad for him. The Earthshaker ended up being pretty bad for him in the long run. He really oh, he did not help himself going for that MKB there. Not when you're getting kind of pulverized, right? Like, I understand wanting to kill the Drow and everything, but it definitely feels like it would have been a better use of his time to just let the Jug, who was already going for the MKB anyway, let the Jug handle the Drow and go for something that's going to give you more ability to deal with everybody else. Because that's who you're really worried about here. You're not going to beat the Drow anyway. Like, that's already a non-viable option. You're DK versus Drow. Spoilers, Drow wins that. Let somebody else handle the Drow. You take on, like, the Void Spirit, who really nobody ever had a cap on here. Died twice in the entire game. Take on the, you know, the Earthshaker. Try to look for blank daggering guys in the back line. I think that's really the best option here. Or at the very least, pick up the Shiva's Guard so the Dawnbreaker doesn't heal everybody back to full health. So, unfortunate item choice on that MKB probably is part of why, you know, it felt like he was doing pretty good for a while and then just fell really hard off. I think it might have been just on that item choice, unfortunately. A couple of unlucky picks, but the MKB, not what you wanted here. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a draft route though. This wasn't like an unwinnable game by any regard, especially in the situation where, which is a very potential situation of, Jug just gets the full Omni on the Drow Ranger, and then the rest of the team cleans up everybody else. I think that's a viable way to play these fights for this team. It's not really something that the Drow can do much about, especially when Jug gets the MKB. But Blink MKB, which he did get, he did get that when he had those Omni Slashes. They were huge, but I don't know. The Snapfire was awesome until like the first time it died, at which point it got, you know, one kill and a few more assists for the rest of the game. I don't know. I don't know. It was a fun game to watch. So there's that at least. Just really crazy back and forth. A man got a rampage and lost, which is always a good sign. But either way, a few com issues on open to Sug Est Ions. It felt like, just a lot of guy just pushes out to a tower, guy is the only one pushing out, fighting, which again we saw in the DarkAce team as well, but early on in that peak point for Dragon Knight, he just kind of takes two spills for no reason. The Tide Hunter just didn't fit here at all. I don't know. We'll see what happens next time for the DarkAce team anyway.